I am going to talk with you about week 2 assignment in The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. Recall, I am going through her 12-week program and documenting the process. And you guys are along with me. And normally I like to do a couple of the tasks together in one video, and which is fine, and that was my plan until I was doing task 1. And I had a moment, like a, oh my God, right? Ooh, that makes sense moment. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to talk about it now in one quick little video because I can't wait to put them all together. I have to learn how to delay my gratification, but luckily today is not the day that I'm going to do that. So before I tell you what happened during the assignment of week 2, task 1, I got to remind you to hit subscribe. I'm learning that I need to do that. So hit subscribe. And you know what? I really appreciate me reminding you, because when I watch other YouTube channels, if they don't say hit subscribe, I actually don't subscribe. So I get why they're doing it. And because I made that connection, now I'm like, oh, I need to do that too. So help me get my goal of quadrillion subscribers. That could happen, at least 8 billion. And then I will share with you my moment that I had during assignment 1 of week 2 of The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. Okay, here we go. It's actually kind of, I have to fully disclose because it's not actually a good start. Well, we're not going to say that. We're going to say, the other day I was listening to Mel Robbins, and she had a woman on, and I cannot remember her name, but she had said something that kind of made me go, She said that every setback could be a set up. I like that. So my failure to adhere to the directions of task 1 is not a setback. It is actually a setup. And I actually believe that, and you will agree when I tell you what it is. So task 1 is that affirmative reading. Every day, morning and night, get quiet and focused and read the basic principles to yourself, which are on page 3. And then they want you to, be alert to see if there's kind of like a shift in your thinking patterns or your thoughts. And like what's the self-doubt that you might be hearing. So, that reflective piece of the affirmative readings. Okay, I didn't do that. Not at all. Nope, didn't do that. And that's okay. I forgive myself for that. The thought of having to do it 3 times a day was a little bit kind of daunting. I do a lot of stuff already, and I'm adding that. But here we go. So I thought to myself, you know what? If I'm actually really serious about trying to get to my pure potentiality and get to my authentic self and be creative and give back my gifts, then I should maybe really do it. So here's what I've committed to. I wrote it down again, and I'm going to read it out loud. So number 1, creativity is the natural order of life. Life is pure energy, pure creative energy, which I totally agree and get. Okay? 2, there is an underlying, indwelling creative force infusing all of life. Remember, we're all connected, including ourselves. Okay? When we open ourselves to our creativity, we open ourselves to the Creator's creativity within us and in our lives. Okay? We are ourselves creations. Totally get it? And we, in turn, are meant to continue creativity, but by being creative ourselves. I'm okay with that. Creativity is the divine's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back to the divine. Ooh, I like that. The refusal to be creative is self-will, and it is counter to our true nature. And I'm trying to find my authentic self, so I don't want to go against it. When we open ourselves to exploring our creativity, we open ourselves to the divine. As we open our creative channel to the Creator, Many gentle but powerful changes are to be expected. It is safe to open ourselves up to the greater and greater creativity. Our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move towards our dreams, we move towards our divinity. Wow, hey? Okay, so here's what I'm doing moving forward. I will write those 10 basic principles in my morning notes, the 3 pages, and it's okay if it takes up a half of the page. Or maybe I'll do it an additional to the 3 pages. I'm not putting any pressure on myself, but I will do that now as part of my morning writings. I even put them on cards. Oh, yeah, I did. So then I can put it in my notebook, my morning pages notebook, and then they'll be there and I'll just copy them out. Brilliant. Hey? Okay. Then I set my timer on my alarm, and so in the afternoon I will say it, and then before bed I will say it. Okay. This is what I've committed to do. Yay me. And then I thought, well, why did I have such a hard time doing that? Besides that, it seemed like a lot of work. Well, the Committee of Assholes have been nattering a lot about me being an artist. Laughing they have been at the thought of me being an artist. And I thought, you know, maybe if I write this down, it's going to quiet them, because I did have those Committee of Assholes pretty much quiet there for a while, right? And now this whole "you're not an artist" thing is now in the head. And we need to get rid of that, because I like the quiet and the calm. So I thought, well, how did I get rid of "you're stupid"? Well, I got rid of that by affirmations. And then I remembered again, affirmations are the antidote to self-hate. Wow. That statement that she talked about earlier really hit me good. Just like resistance is not defiance. It's resistance is that you're going too fast, change is hard, and you need to slow down, stop, reroute, and meet them where they're at, including yourself, right? So anyway, when I thought about that affirmations are the antidote to self-hate, I came up with affirmations that I'm going to put on my mirror, and that in the bathroom, like so the morning ones that I normally do, and then in my office and in my bedroom, all over the place. But I kind of want to talk about the affirmations that I came up with, because my mind went all over the place. And so the first one that I came up with was that I have creative ideas. And I was like, what? What the fuck is that bullshit one? It totally reminded me of kiddos who carry that shame-based identity, which we know I had some. I mean, it's whittling away. We have to acknowledge that and celebrate it, but it was there. I came from a hard place. It only makes sense, right? Anyway, and so kiddos and people that carry that shame have a really hard time accepting compliments. They don't believe them. Like, "Oh, you're such a good boy." Yeah, right? Really? And then how come I spent, only like 3 hours in detention? Oh, I don't know. I lost my train of thought there. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. That whole creative idea thing. Yeah, right. Prove it. So then I thought, well, yeah, I gotta have some proof in order for me to accept this. And then I thought, well, what if I said something like, "I can bring my creative ideas to life"? Okay, well, yeah, I can. It's that whole positive thing in the morning. I don't like those positive statements kind of like that way. Because what if you can't? And yeah, I know then you're just saying that you can't means you're not going to. But you get what I mean. Anyway, that's a whole other topic about positivity versus gratitude and affirmations. But we won't even talk about that. Okay, back on track. And then I heard in my voice, or in my voice, I heard in my head, I am safe to create. Ooh, I like that one. I am safe to create. Well, that's true. And I am feeling really safe lately. So it's safe. And then, because then I go back to like my brain science world, right? And I'm thinking, well, we know that the brain doesn't develop, right? And that child, or doesn't develop without experiences. You know, early environment creates those narratives, blah, 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 blah. But what I was thinking in my head is that when kiddos don't live in a safe place, when you don't feel safe, you're stuck in survival brain, which is in your brainstem, which is your primitive brain, right? And all you do there is just, you're on survival. You don't have access to the higher regions of your brain. Your higher regions of your brain would be where your creativity is, I would think, right? And so like we know the whole little thing about survival brain versus learning brain, and survival brain always trumps learning brain. And so if you're not, you know, if you don't feel safe, you're living in survival brain, how can you be creative if you're always waiting for something to happen, or you're looking over your back, or every noise startles you, or the voices are loud, or you're overwhelmed, or whatever? Like how can you be creative when you got all that stuff going on? That makes a lot of sense. And so then you would just lose that skill or that ability. You know, like if you don't have those experiences in your brain for building up those brain circuitry, basically if you don't use it, you lose it. And so the circuitry gets pruned off. Well, that's kind of what happened with your creativity. That's the way I'm thinking it in my head, right? So if I'm now in a safe place and I feel safe, then I should be able to tap into that creativity within me. It's there. So I'm going to say that affirmation. I am safe to be creative. Because I am. But then I started thinking, well, wait a minute. If creativity is within us, and that's like our authentic self, our true self, our core, then it wouldn't be up in your thinking brain, right? It would be inside of you. But then you'd have to get rid of that shame to get down there to it. I don't know. I have to think and process that, figure out where that creativity is held. Is it held in your brain, like in your higher regions of your brain, your subconscious? Well, yeah, it would be in your subconscious. Or would it be contained like in your core, in your soul, in your pure potentiality? I really don't know. Kind of a little stuck on that one. But all I know is that moving forward, I am actually going to say those 10 basic principles 3 times a day. I'm going to make it part of my practice. And I'm going to see if there's some changes in my head. And now that I have the awareness and the acceptance to know that I am safe to create, I'm excited to see what kind of creativity is going to come pouring out of me. So this is actually kind of cool. If you agree with that, make sure you subscribe so you can see me for the rest of the tasks for this next week, and on my adventures of my self-care journey to my authentic self. I think I'm supposed to say it something like that. Anyway, my short video actually turned out to be 13 minutes long. So, whoops. Have a great day.